Ladies and gentlemen, it is here, the long-awaited sequel, a proper sequel to Doctor Strange is here. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness releases today. Sam Raimi, every superhero movie he does is phenomenal. Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. I don't care what you say. They're good movies. And I do have to say, his directing style is all over this. It's a little bit scary. It's a little bit dark. It reminds me of Spider-Man 3, and I'll get more into that, the particular scene that I'm talking about. It also has the zoom-in eye, if you know what I'm talking about. It was in one of the trailers, and in Spider-Man it does this. It zooms out of the eyes, it zooms into the eyes to transition to a new scene. It's trippy, it's a little bit horror genre, so let's get into it. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So, it first begins with a dream, and it is later found out that that is actually the multiverse. It's another universe that Doctor Strange is dreaming. And it's explained that dreams are actually events taking place in other universes. And I had in my notes, happens later, referring to the dream. That doesn't really happen later. I mean, technically it does, but not really. I'm not going to say spoilers, but some events happen later, and it's established right away that America Chavez is in this. And if you don't know who she is, she's a comic book character, first Marvel appearance, MCU appearance that she's had. She's played very well. I'm very looking forward to seeing her more. Honestly, I'm afraid that that character is going to get, I don't know, it may not be a great character in the future in the MCU, but you can never be sure with Marvel movies. Doctor Strange is great as always. Wanda is the villain in this, and if you saw the trailers, you probably were guessing or knew that by now, but yes, she's the villain. And as the plot is really about Wanda coping with or trying to make her dream with her sons a reality. And that's where the plot hole begins. But I was talking to that in a little bit. And also the other main theme or plot that's happening is Doctor Strange's relationship with Christine, and how the other universe Christine that comes into this story later, how their relationship happens and what that will be like for Doctor Strange's love interest. At the end of WandaVision, if you watch that, you saw Wanda with a book and she was casting spells. Well, that book is a main focal point in this one too, because that book has all the spells that she needs to unlock the multiverse and control the multiverse. And to do that, she needs America, because America can jump from universe to universe, and nobody else can do that. That's America's power. So she needs to take that power and use it so she can jump to the multiverse where her dream is reality. But she also needs the book because she needs to unlock the multiverse. And Kevin Feige recently, this is interesting, he recently confirmed that Loki and Sylvie unlocked the multiverse when killing Kang. And that's how Doctor Strange spell went wrong in Spider-Man. That's how these events are happening. So that was interesting that Kevin Feige said that. Let's get into the plot hole that I have a massive problem with, and I really believe that Wanda is a broken character, and she's broken in the sense that her actual character is like is broken. Like she saw her love. She killed her love, and the dream that she has cannot come true with the kids and everything. But if you saw the end of WandaVision, you know that the organization that was creating the Blue Vision, they were like recreating Vision almost, and he was real. He was a real guy. He wasn't part of Westview, and they make believe Vision that Wanda had. But at the end of WandaVision, Vision and the Blue Viz, they fight. and Vision touches the Blue Viz's stone. And through that, he gives all the memories and everything, his love to Wanda, to Blue Viz. And Blue Viz says something to the effect of that he knows what that's like. So basically, Vision is still out there. Vision is technically alive. But the writers of Marvel, I mean, Wanda apparently doesn't know this. But wouldn't Blue Viz know about Wanda and want to come find her? Because he just kind of flies away at the end of WandaVision, never explained what happens to him, and this has never explained what happened to him. Every Marvel project since WandaVision has not explained what happened to this Blue Viz, and I've not seen anybody else talk about this, so that's a huge plot point. Because if Blue Viz has all the memories of Vision, he and Wanda can live together. So that's a huge point that was completely skipped over. Also, Wanda can control her surroundings. And in this movie, she's in like a field with trees, and she very quickly does one of these and then changes the whole setting. If she could do that, why can't she bring Vision and her kids, just like she did with Westview, to that house, but don't enslave people to be your neighbors? Instead, just create the hex again around that house. Anyway, that's the one problem of that I had with this movie, is that huge plot hole that I just could not stop thinking about the entire time when Wanda was on screen. This whole thing could have been avoided if she just did that. And that's also why I've had a problem with WandaVision. There's so many things wrong with that show. And again, that show basically led up to absolutely nothing, because the things that it set up didn't happen. And you might be saying, well, Wanda became the Scarlet Witch. Watch this movie. That's all I'll say. Speaking of spoilers, I don't know how I can go past this now without getting into spoilers, talking about how they travel to through the universes and stuff. So go to the time marker on the screen to avoid spoilers. In 3, 2, 1. They travel through multiverses, and through that they come to a multiverse where I forget his exact name, but it's like Mordo or Murdo or something. The guy that was Doctor Strange's friend but then turns bad at the end of Doctor Strange, he is in this universe, but it's that universe's guy. And he's part of this organization called the Illuminati. and in the Illuminati, the other people, huge spoilers, so please go to that time marker if you don't want spoilers, but in the organization is Mr. Fantastic, who is part of the Fantastic Four and is setting up the Fantastic Four, even though they all die at the end of this scene. That is setting up the Fantastic Four. That is huge. I don't know where this guy is from. I've seen him. I don't think he's part of the Fantastic Four. And I'm not quite sure where he's from either, and I forget his name. But he looks like this, so sorry, I forget his name right now. Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel, which that was interesting as well. Also, Charles Xavier is in it, making his MCU debut, and that was awesome to see. So this is where it starts to get like really horror movie stuff. There was this one scene where Wanda was chasing them through a hallway, and it reminded me exactly of something from a horror movie, and that was something I really liked. This was very different. It was very Sam Raimi, and a very different MCU movie, because I really like how in this phase of Marvel, every single movie is something different. Like, this movie is a whole lot different than Thor, and Thor is going to be a whole lot different than Spider-Man. So every single one is different in its own way, and I really like that, because in the previous phase, they were all really the same. Like Civil War, the script-wise, and like joke-wise and cinematography-wise was a whole lot similar to Infinity War. And they were all really the same. Not like, I'm not saying like same characters, same plots, nothing like that, but I think I think you guys know what I mean as they were the same. It's also very trippy with the special effects and everything. It was awesome to see the special effects. Take the mirror dimension scenes from Doctor Strange and Spider-Man No Way Home and upgrade them by times 100. The special effects in this were incredible, and I really hope it gets nominated for an Oscar and or wins, because they were really cool, very trippy. Anyway, this has a huge implication for the rest of the MCU, because Wanda actually dies at the end. So what do I think will happen? Nothing for Wanda. I mean, unless she can survive that somehow. I just think this is a good ending for the character. I mean, honestly, she's endured so much pain, and honestly, I don't really like her character all that much. Not saying that she just should have died, but, you know, she endured so much pain, so she can finally be with Viz, at least, and her dream can somewhat come true. In this movie, there were some characters from What If, which was interesting. First, they went to a cartoon world, and that was the universe from What If. It was like a split second when they were traveling through the different multiverses, or through the universes. Captain Carter is in this, making her big screen MCU debut. I know she was in What If. And the zombie Strange is in this at the end, so that's really cool to see also. Sinister Strange is in this, which is really cool to see, and he had a cool character moment when talking about how, you know, he turned dark after Christine left him, and his what he did when Christine knew she couldn't love him anymore. So that was cool to see how the different Doctor Strange, what they do in their universes, and also how that relationship has affected them in the different universes. At the end of the movie, Doctor Strange becomes Zombie Strange. He takes over the Zombie Strange as one of the zombie body. And through that, he used a very dark magic, and because of that, he grows a third eye right here. And then at the end of the movie, this should have been a post-credit scene, but at the end of the movie, he grows that eye, and then the post-credit scene is somebody coming to him and saying, "You use that kind of magic, we have to take you somewhere." And Doctor Strange says something about, "I'm up for the challenge." I don't know who that exactly is, who she is. I assume the TVA, but he doesn't. The TVA is dead, first of all, and second, he doesn't mess with the timeline, so that can't be who it is. I'll have to look it up. Sorry, I rushed home and didn't make this, but I don't really know who that is. But setting up a third Doctor Strange movie, so that is always cool. Welcome back to people who didn't want spoilers. Yeah. Anyway, Multiverse of Madness, great film, great MCU movie. I have to say it. I know it has, what, a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. It does not deserve that. It's a great movie. It's very different from MCU movies, and that can be a good thing sometimes. Sometimes it can't, like Incredible Hulk and Eternals, but this is a good kind of difference. And I also really I love the time thing that they're going for right now with No Way Home and Loki and this. This was really the big one, with the multiverse stuff, of course. So I'm excited to see what they're setting up, and I'm excited to see. I don't really want season 2 of Loki to come, because they're going to fix the multiverse, and I don't want that to happen yet. But I'm excited to see what kind of wacky characters and things that Marvel pull from the different universes, and yeah. So here's my official rating of Multiverse of Madness. I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's a high 8. I usually don't give point something, but this I'm going to give an 8.8 out of 10. But really an 8 out of 10. I don't really like point stuff when ranking, so 8 out of 10 for me. Anyway, go see this movie if you haven't yet. If you're a Marvel fan, absolutely, because you're probably going to go see it already, but if you're thinking about it, maybe in theaters, maybe when it comes on Disney+, I recommend in theaters, because you want to see it as soon as you can, because by the time it comes on Disney+, you might have gotten it spoiled for you, and watching Marvel movies spoiled are not fun, so if you have an opportunity to go to theaters, please do. If you've seen it, let me know down in the comments what you think of the movie. Also, while you're down there, leave a like and consider subscribing. It would make me a very happy man. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Have a magical day, everybody.